bright pink lipstick, blue eyeshadow, blue crimped hair. This is either 1984 or I'm having a quarter-life crisis. Hi everyone! So recently I've been having a conversation with a lot of my friends in the convention community, and these are people who are photographers, cosplayers, videographers, people who just have stands or like to go to buy things at conventions. And we got into a conversation about what are our biggest pet peeves when we go to conventions. So we started listing all the things that we don't like, and things that just generally wind us up when we go to conventions, because we're the type of people that probably go to a lot of conventions across the country and in different countries. So it was just really interesting to kind of collate all those things together and put it into a video. Now that might sound kind of negative, but sometimes it's good to just have a group moan, get everything off your chest so that you can enjoy things a little bit better. And I got that many comments from people that I've got enough material to make definitely more than one video. I've had to group everything into themes in order to make this video. So this is the first one, and this one is about everything to do with photography. So the first thing, which is really irritating at conventions and came up a lot, was taking a photograph of somebody else's shot. One of the most irritating things is when people steal your shot or snipe your shot. So somebody coming along with their camera and you've got your really nice setup and you've got the cosplayer to kind of stand there for you and they're posing, you've done all the lighting, you've sorted out where they're gonna stand, and some douchebag comes in with their camera and basically takes the same shot. Most of the time they're actually walking in front of your camera to take that shot. And this is so annoying because it's essentially stealing. And you know full well that that person's probably not going to have got as good a shot because you're going to do all the post-production and everything like that, but it was your idea. It's like the photography equivalent of tracing somebody else's artwork. It might not seem that much, but essentially that's what it is. It's kind of going, hey, I've made this thing, but I didn't really have anything to do with the composition because somebody else worked that out for me. And this can be irritating for both photographers and cosplayers because it's really distracting for both people and it normally delays the shoot. If you see somebody having a photo shoot with a photographer, wait until they're finished before you go in and take a photograph, and probably get them to move so you're not copying the same idea. Have some originality. My one piece of advice to any cosplayer that sees this happening to help your photographer friend out is ruin that shot. Ruin it. Pull a face, turn around, pull your trousers down if it's not a public setting. Anything you can think of to make that person rethink what they're doing. Number 2, whilst we're still on the topic of sniping, taking photographs without asking. If you see somebody eating pizza, don't take their photograph. If you see somebody queuing for the toilet, don't take their photograph. If you see somebody changing out of their costume, don't take a photograph. Yes, people have obviously dressed up, they want to have their photo taken, but there's just the common courtesy of actually asking first so that they can get into a position or a pose that's more suitable rather than just being sniped when they don't really want to have their photo taken. And some people may think, oh, it's not that bad, like I'm sure they still look great no matter what they're doing. I have a story to tell you, so settle down for this one. Once upon a time, there was a cosplayer called Humposaurus. She was going to the convention dressed as Velma from Scooby-Doo, but unfortunately she fell really ill because of a sickness bug that was going round. As she walked up the stairs of the XL Arena, she ended up fainting in front of hundreds of people. Luckily, her friend Hope was dressed as Supergirl and managed to catch her and stop her from hitting her head on the ground. As many people started to run to her help, some people decided it was the perfect opportunity to take a photo of her. As they saw her there lying on the ground, they thought, wow, this is the perfect opportunity to get the shot I wanted. It's not like she's kind of salivating out of her mouth and her eyes are closed or anything. Humposaurus was completely unaware that these photographs were being taken as she was currently in an unconscious state. Everybody around looked at the photographers and thought, what absolute pricks. The end. Everybody hates having their photograph taken without somebody asking. So unless they're there posing and ready, ask first. Third one is people who go to conventions just to take photos, but when they've taken a photo of you, then proceed to ask for money. Now, this isn't a wedding, we haven't hired a photographer, we haven't booked shoots with these photographers. The photographers are there to enjoy themselves just as much as the cosplayers are. And this can apply to cosplayers as well, because there might be the odd cosplayer that charges people to take their photo. The thing is, photographers, videographers, cosplayers, we all collectively work together to share what we love. And it's kind of like that thing where one can't do it without the other. And that's why it's great that we all do it for free, because it's a chance to express ourselves creatively. Most photographers who are regulars at conventions know what's happening, they won't charge you for a photograph. It just tends to be those people who pop along and it's their first time and think, hey, I might be able to make a little bit of money out of this, and guess what, you won't. And the chances are the people who've been doing cosplay photography for a long time also take the better photographs than the people who are wanting to charge you money. That being said, it leads on to number 4, which is cosplayers pestering photographers for photographs very quickly after the convention. As I've just mentioned, you're getting them photographs for free. Zilch, zero, nothing. These people are giving you a creative service for free because they're nice. And the last thing you want to do is get back from the convention a day later and go, hey, where's my photograph? Hey, where's my photograph? Hey, where's my photograph? Because the chances are they're then just going to go, do you know what? I'm not going to do your photograph, or I'm going to Photoshop a massive zit onto your face. Yeah, there might be the case where somebody might have forgotten, or maybe the photo hasn't turned out as great as they thought at the time. But it's better to say to somebody maybe 2 months on, hey, how are the photographs going? Than saying to them 2 days later, where are my photographs, and being really aggressive about it. So yeah, just give them time and space to do what they do best. So whilst we're on the topic of post-production and that sort of thing, it leads me on to number 5, which is people slapping giant watermarks on things. And this tends to come hand in hand with the people who are trying to charge you for photographs. Most photographers have got some sort of logo or name that identifies the photo as theirs, like a watermark. They tend to be placed in the corners of most photographs. They're a reasonable size so that you can see them, but small enough that they don't deter from the actual photograph. However, there is the odd occasion where a photographer will make a giant watermark, or even one that's actually like slap bang in the middle of the photograph, and it just ends up ruining the photograph altogether. So this is just a plea to anybody who wants to start out in cosplay photography. Really think about your watermark and how it's going to make photographs look, and just making sure that it doesn't take away from the image too much. Still on the topic of post-production, number 6, weird photoshops. Now, everybody likes to try new things. I myself have had some Photoshop disasters in the past, but sometimes it just goes too far. It may be quite frustrating when you get a photograph back from a photo shoot and somebody's gone and added like a really fake background, like they've cut you out, or possibly they've gone and altered the colours in some way that maybe makes your skin look a bit grey or dull. It might emphasise wrinkles that you didn't even know you had. I just think there's that consideration of, yeah, you're taking a photo of a person. It is really, really cool sometimes to make it look like a film or a comic book and really enhance that character, but just try and keep it so that it's still a kind of flattering photo of that person. Think about the lighting. Have you made it too dark? Have you made it too bright? Does that background look real? All those sorts of things can really make a photograph look better. But understanding as well that obviously people have got to learn and they've got to try things out. So it's a bit of a balance with that one. Number 7 is the media. So we get a lot of photographers come that are from the media, newspapers, TV programs, articles, but they don't identify themselves in the media. And that can be very, very difficult at times, because you find that a lot of media outlets are actually taking the mickey out of cosplayers. They're making fun of us, and because they don't identify themselves or tell you what article it's going to be part of, you might quite happily stand and pose for a photograph and then find yourself in an article like a week later that's saying bunch of weirdos go to a convention and have no life. So there is that thing of really wanting the media to just identify themselves. Be wary of people that have obviously got a lot of kit and maybe might be asking some slightly weird questions. Just try and get it out of them where they're from and what the purpose of them either interviewing you or taking your photograph is for. Don't worry too much because a lot of articles still are quite positive, but it has been known that people have ended up in kind of articles that they weren't too happy about because of the media. Number 8, when you get your photos back, have a look to see what people are using them for. A lot of people will just be using it to promote their photography pages and to promote you. They'll always tag you in them and that kind of thing. But there will be a few websites that might get hold of those photographs and use them to sell costumes that you've not made, but it tends to be kind of online sites that are doing kind of cheap costumes, but they're making out that it looks like yours. I've seen this really recently with one of my friends, so just keep an eye out for people using your photograph to sell things. Also be on the lookout for photographers or cosplayers selling your image without consulting you. This is a joint thing, you know, it took both parties to create that photo. So for cosplayers selling prints, make sure that you've got the rights from your photographer and that you've spoken to them about it. If it's a photographer selling prints, make sure that you've let the cosplayer know. Just keep those lines of communication open. Number 9, this one is for the general public. Try not to walk in front of photo shoots. It happens so often, and I don't mean photo shoots in crowded places, because I do think people do have to really choose where you take your photograph. Don't stop in the middle of a busy area to have your photograph taken. Pick somewhere that's got a little bit more space and has a better setting. But in those sorts of cases, people should just be aware that people are having their photo taken. Just walk around. Just walk around. It will take you 5 steps more, and that's probably going to count on your Fitbit. So just think about it that way and just try and not walk in front of photographers and cosplayers when they're doing their photo shoots. So that's everything. I think I've let out all of the frustrations of myself and about 20 other people in this community. Please don't let this put you off conventions, particularly if you're into cosplay or photography. It's just making you aware of these things so that when you go, you know what's going to happen, and actually you can enjoy it more because they're not going to come as a surprise to you. Now 90% of the time with my videos, whatever I say my next video is going to be, it's usually not. I'm just going to say that in my next video, I'm going to be juggling some kittens in blue body paint whilst on fire. So stay tuned for that. Really excited to have a go at that. And until next time, I'll see you later. You see this? Look how blue it is. It's like, ew. Ew.